Hey, what's up YouTube? Goratha here. So this is my week 1 update for the Bleed Eviscerate Gladiator. Build's gone really well. This will probably be my last update until I make a full build guide, which I probably will for this build. It's been very strong, very enjoyable. There's some things I want to go over though that people have been asking me, and I feel like I should talk about the plans for the build for people following along and what I've changed currently. Yeah, let's get into it. First I want to talk about, I finally upgraded Jack the Axe. I got a really nice dictator structured, and I crafted it. Put the entire craft process here. I'll probably show you guys some video of me crafting it as well. There's also a video on the second channel that just shows it live as well. But yeah, Jack the Axe getting replaced added a ton of damage. I'll show you guys the difference here. Jack the Axe is really good as a starter weapon, but it definitely doesn't hold up super in game compared to a really good rare, especially with enchants this league. Enchants are like insane. Yeah, it pretty much doubled my damage. Like 90% more damage. Something like that. I think Weapon Master is a nice swap on bosses when you have damage this high. I still think War of Attrition could be really good though, depending on the boss. Gets a pretty good damage, almost dot capped with this, and definitely can get better gear. But yeah, so the damage is getting really good. How are we getting more damage? So the weapon, like I said earlier, the biggest part. I have started to swap gems around as well on bosses. So on bosses now, I'm using Cruelty. Now you might be thinking you're not getting max Cruelty on bosses, but we actually are because we're switching on Ring of the Accuser as well, or the Hateful Accuser. Now this grants us Penance Mark, which basically you mark the target. It's like a curse, so you can't use Vuln. But you mark the target, and when you hit the target, it spawns ads. Now these ads give you Onslaught, they give you Cruelty effect, they give you Fortify, and they proc Retaliation, which is like the main reason we're using it, is the Retaliation. But they do a lot of things. They're very strong. And that's how we're using Cruelty on bosses. It also lets us drop extra Retaliation. It doesn't seem like it's required on bosses. I still like it for mapping though, so I swap it in and out depending on what I'm doing. You don't have to. I mean, it works either way. Seems fine. And yeah, I'm using a Cluster Drill now. This is how our damage is so high. This plus the Axe gives us a bunch of damage. The clusters are pretty easy to craft. I recommend just using Jagged Fossil. I dropped Hatchet Master for that, and just extra levels on the tree. I also stopped using Crushing Fist. It seems like once you have the No Forgiveness node, you don't really need to be using Crushing Fist anymore. It's an extra button, and it feels good to use sometimes, but it just feels like overkill. Like sometimes you'll proc Eviscerate like 10 times in a row, and if you're using extra Retaliation, it has like a 1-second cooldown. So it does seem like it's kind of unnecessary. I did really like it before I got the Anoint though. I would replace the gems with just extra links on Bladestorm or Shield Charge. Seems like the best idea. Or maybe put Urgent Orders on Enduring Cry. That could be a thing as well. So you may have noticed once you get a really good weapon that you'll stop getting bleed pops. This is because if you one-shot the mob before you bleed it, the mob will not explode. It's kind of annoying. There is a fix for it. You could use Deadly Ailment and replace Cruelty. The problem with this is you won't really get Fortify anymore, so I've decided not to do that myself. But if you want the bleed pops and you don't really care about Fortify as much, maybe you still use Crushing Fist Fortify. That could be a thing. I've kind of just dealt with it. The pops are way better in T17s, but yeah, in T16s I noticed I do too much damage now. It's kind of a weird problem to have. But yeah, too much damage, the monsters don't get the bleed, they just don't explode. That's why that's happening. Like it's probably something some of you are struggled with. For tattoos, I've pretty much just been throwing random tattoos on my tree that I got from my ships. The best I would recommend are Fizz Damage and Percent Armor. These are both very strong. They're better than 10 Strength Notes for sure. And I think you want at least one Fizz Leech one. This is because like if you drop Blood Rage for like a no leech map or like a no regen map or something, you want to have some sort of leech. This will help a lot because if you drop Blood Rage, you don't have any leech at all. So I'd recommend getting one of these as well. Be pretty nice. Ailment Immunity and Pantheons. I've been asked a lot of questions about Pantheons. I'm still using Grind King for Freeze Immunity and Gary Khan for my Shock Immunity, along with the Helm plus it. That gives me my Shock Immunity, or Pseudo Shock Immunity. And I'm running a Void Freeze on my boost currently, and that's how I've been dealing with it. Eventually, you do want to go for a Essence Craft, though. You want Essence of Loathing, which gives us Ailment Immunity. pretty easily with this tree, actually. So you get 35% in the boots from the essence, and then you add Eater Influence, and this will give you, it lasts like a little bit. Unfortunately, you do really need to get at least 25%, which is, I think, exceptional. That can be a little annoying. So I would get 60% on boots, and then you have 20% on the tree from thick skin. These give 20%. And then you also take the shield mastery. The shield mastery gives you 20%. So with those things, you have ailment immunity. I'm still using my Void Chill boots. This is something you'd replace with Onslaught as well, since we dropped Hatchet Master. So once you get these boots here, put Onslaught and kill on them, and you'll still have Onslaught. That's the way I would go about the ailment immunity. Now once you do that, you can switch to Hour Kali for some more damage over time reduction and some recovery. And Relicash. Relicash lets you drop the Bleed Mastery. I've already done it in this POB, but yeah, the Bleed Mastery is kind of annoying to take. I don't even think you really need to take it, but yeah, if you're not taking this one, you're losing 5% damage. This is going to be 18 dot multi. Pretty good. I talked about Purity of Fire melding a little bit in the last video. I think I might still go for that, but I haven't decided yet. As you can see, my res are already pretty good, so I haven't decided whether or not it's worth it. So I'll have to fix my res. It's going to be minus 70 res, which is pretty annoying to do to fit in. It'll be pretty hard to gear for it. So what am I looking for in my gear now? Like I said, I need to craft my boots still. I need to craft a way better chest. This chest is like kind of whatever. I'm looking to probably get max res here instead of frenzy charges or endurance charge. Frenzy charge is definitely the highest DPS though. If you do drop frenzy charges for endurance charge, you can drop 5 points here because you get 12-second duration already on endurance charges. So you could go for the 12-second endurance charge plus it instead. This would save you 5 points. You'd lose frenzy charges, but 5 points is a lot. Might be more damage actually in the end. Probably is more damage. Gives you more flexibility with the tree. Maybe worth considering. I haven't decided yet myself. If I go melding, I probably would have to use max res though. The other thing I could do is I could double corrupt my coil, double corrupt my ring, get like +1 endurance charge rings. Yeah, there's still a lot of things I could min-max. My character is definitely getting up there though. It's gonna be a little bit harder to min-max at this point. Need to do like more and more crazy things. So we'll see how much further I take it. I'll try to do all the Ubers on it, and I've been doing T17s already. They've been going really smooth. I'm sure this build can handle that as well. I'll probably end up farming some Lacrims and Ritual and stuff as well to see how far I can take the build. Like I said before, I'm probably gonna make a full build guide video at some point, and this will probably be the last update. There's not too much more to talk about. I think I've kind of figured out the build. Very enjoyable. I hope you guys enjoyed the build. I'll see you guys next time.